dotard!
Why, oh why do you exist?
I'll string you up.
Get out of the way!
Looks like I have a new letter.
That's a clever way of putting it. Will you come to me?
You can kiss my rosy red ass, wayface.
How'd that get in there?
Slubberdagullion!
Alright. I think I have a second not to be insulted. Hello there, Mr. Goody, and welcome in. How's it going, dude? And hello there, Afro, welcome in as well. How are you today? And yeah, thank you for joining. We are back with more Kingdom Come Deliverance as part of our historical order run. And yeah, it's been a while. It's been 8 days since the last stream. So I've probably forgotten like half of the mechanics and how they work. But yeah, we had the Easter vacation in between. And then I had pretty 4 weeks so far. Today we also only have like a few hours to stream really. But I figured, you know, one stream is still better than none, like not a single stream. So we're just gonna do a short session today, but yeah, I'm still glad to be back with it and carry on with the playthrough here. Last time we had a pretty tough main story mission, which was the massive battle against the bandits and humans. That definitely caused some nerves, and we also had by far the most deaths ever in a stream. And quite frankly, I was like debating if I even want to continue playing the game. But yeah, I wanted to keep on going with it. You know, we already invested quite a bit of time in it, and there's still lots of elements I really enjoy about the game. However, there's definitely some quality of life stuff I was kind of like missing at some point, and kind of like got on my nerves a bit. Things like, you know, not being able to manually save at any point, or you know, always like being like overweight with how much you can carry. So I figured, you know, there's a solution for that, and that is mods. So I installed a mod that actually allows me to save at any point now. And I've also removed the weight limit as well in the game. To kind of like, you know, make those things a bit less frustrating, because I don't mind it how it's done like in Witcher with a weight limit. You know, you can still like loot a fair share and be fine, but like the constant micromanagement just really got on my nerves after a while. And same for like the save system, you know. Like even though we didn't have to like replay like hours and hours of content, there's definitely plenty of people that, you know, played the game for like an entire evening session and just didn't do any main story or whatever, and then just, you know, lost all their progress, and that would really be like the last nail in the coffin for me, you know. So I feel like with those mods installed, I'm hopefully gonna have like at least a bit of a better time, pardon me, time with, you know, those mechanics. But yeah, that's all installed now, and that means, as you can see, we have a weight limit of 100,000. It should be plenty. That is true, Godi. You know, it wouldn't be a proper stream without any insults being thrown around. Can't find love, can't beat the boss. There's probably a mod for that. Well, in this game, probably. Or, you know, in Oblivion. Not sure if you've seen, but the remaster just came out for that game, and there's already like tons of mods for that game. I think there's been like over 70 mods within the first day of that game being released. Okay, we could actually do some reading maybe, unless I've already done so on this day. We're currently at 83% progress. Okay, I can only read for 2 hours for now. Well, it's still something. Just wanna see if anything goes bad here. Okay, I would say I'm gonna jump straight into the main story here. Oh, it's actually displaying my FPS here. I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, it's been like quite a few days here, so that gives us a bit of a recap on what's been happening recently here. I wouldn't say it's due to its age. The game is still fairly modern. It came out in 2018. So there's definitely plenty of games, I would say, at the time, you know, that aged really well. And I think this game in many regards has aged very well. For example, if you look at the graphics, I think they really hold up well. And many of the game's concepts and mechanics and immersion, you know, are still top-notch to this day. But yeah, this game feels a bit rough around the edges and a bit unpolished at times, you know. Like there's certain mechanics, or yeah, straight up just like bugs happening that can stand a bit in the way of fun, and the combat, you know, is something to really get used to. I wouldn't say it's something that everyone will get used to either. I think it's definitely interesting and kind of well done, but takes a lot to really get into it, I feel. Oh. But I feel like with a second game that might not be as much of an issue from what I've seen. It seems to be a lot more polished. Which makes sense, right? They had the first game and they could really build up on that.
I'm afraid you were right when you said these hostilities wouldn't end at Probislavitz.
That comes as no surprise.
What has happened?
My men reported 2 more attacks today.
Ah, Henry. I'm glad you're here. It seems like we'll have another task for you. Come and join us.
My lord,
Greetings, lad.
the bandits raided a few remote hamlets, but that's the least of our worries. They also attacked Merhoyed, and that's a much more serious matter.
Meroyed. Matthias is working there.
They attacked right after the battle in Probislavitz. Bastards were probably trying to prove they're still strong. But there's a silver lining. The villagers held them off, and they even took 1 captive. He's wounded, but we can still interrogate him.
Your Graces, I hope I'm not intruding.
On the contrary, Master Tobias. Unlike Bernard, you are the bearer of good tidings. Or so I gather from the coin you carry. Tell me, how many groschen did we find in Probislavitz?
My lord, I'm sorry, but my news is no better than Captain Bernard's. These coins are very good. That is to say, well-made facsimiles, as we call them.
What? I don't give a what you call them. I want to know what they're facking worth.
That's just it, sir. They're worth nothing.
Are you saying what I think you're saying, Master Tobias? This here
It's just a pile of copper.
Curva! Fuck!
Plated with silver, so it's still of some worth.
Curva! Fuck!
Is it a lot of work to make such counterfeits, Master Tobias?
I should say so, sir. Highly demanding work. Especially to make such plausible forgeries. They would need a well-hidden foundry, several craftsmen, and a source of material.
But they could just be brought in from somewhere else, could they not?
Well, they could, but then again, the silver mines are nearby, and these groschen seem freshly minted, so...
So we are facing a foe who has almost limitless sources of coin. That's all we need.
Doppeltel.
Well, gentlemen, it's clear what we have to do. Interrogate that captive bandit, find out their numbers, and promptly cut off their supply of money. Otherwise, they'll soon have another encampment.
if they haven't already.
But I doubt it, sir. Merhayed wouldn't have been able to hold them off if they did.
Well, lad, I said we'd have work for you, but it never crossed my mind there would be this much. You've already proved your worth as an investigator, so I'm putting my faith in you again. Go to Merhayed and question that captive. Find out where those brigands are hiding, how many there are, and what they're planning. And while you're at it, see if you can find some clues as to where this counterfeit coin is coming from.
Very well, sir.
Good luck. We're counting on you. All of us. Come report to me as soon as you know anything. I'll be at the lookout point near Talmberg.
I wonder if it's the rest of the game. It's just Henry going on investigations pretty much and just like running around asking people or trying to find people. Because it's been a pretty common theme in the last couple of missions. I mean, we've been like looking and searching for like 2 or 3 streams straight. In pretty much any mission we've done. It's definitely also interesting the logic behind like entrusting Henry with so much responsibility, even though he just started learning to become a knight, pretty much. But yeah, it's the classic, you know, video main game character syndrome. Yeah, we can also report the camp's destruction to Captain Bernard. Let's do that.
I've taken care of the camp.
Where's the proof?
Here it is.
Oh, that is a nice bit of news. I've had another report. Some folk were ambushed to the west of Vertai, on the hill across the river from the gallows. It would be worthwhile to check it out.
All right, I'll take a look around. Yeah.
could try to fast travel. Likelihood of being, you know, attacked on the way there is definitely given. It's been a while since we fought, but why not? Interesting. Definitely expected to be attacked here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the only thing I can't use currently, like, properly is the Stinger weapon, I think. But it's still, you know, much more effective in damage than other weapons I had. Just want to look if there's any other items I'm currently using that can't be used properly because of, like, stat requirements. But yeah, I don't think so. I think it's just the Stinger. yeah, another mod I installed is actually to have no collision with bushes anymore. Because that was another thing that was just like annoying the heck out of me after a while. Just how many times you would get stuck on like a really small bush or something where you just think like, you know, Henry should like this, you know, sometimes you wouldn't be able to go through this. And that will also make things a bit more pleasant in the traversal. Not to have collision with like every small bush. Like they're all made out of brick stone or something.
God be with you.
What's happened here?
Things are bad. Very bad. First we get attacked by them brigands. Barely come out of that alive, and now the plague.
Plague, you say?
Indeed so. Something's up with the village. Even the livestock are dying. It's a gruesome sight.
I heard the bandits didn't get very far here, though.
Luckily, young Straw saw them still over by the cross and woke the whole village. We even captured one. He's tied up now at Melikar's place. But then the disease came.
Who attacked you?
I don't know, some bandits. Ever since Skalitz was raised, they've been marauding the whole province.
Did you put up a fight?
We most certainly did. Once Melikar heard young Straw shouting to the hills, he handed everyone a pitchfork or a flail, and we ambushed the bastards.
Good on you. How did it turn out?
We gave them what for until they turned tail and ran. But they cut up young Straw. Something awful. He didn't live to see morning.
Who are Melikar and Straw?
That's right. You're not from round here, are you? Melikar's the one looking after things round here now. Before that, it was down to Smill from the Noyoff stud. But they killed him that time they raided the place. And young Straw is the son of Andrew, a local woodcutter. Or was, I should say. The bandits saw to that. The old man isn't taking it well.
Where will I find Melikar?
If you stand at the main gate of the stables and look across the road, Melikar's is the house on the left.
I'd like to talk to Straw.
I see. Well, if you stand at the main gate of the stables and look across the road, you'll see Straw's house on the right.
Tell me more about this plague. It sounds terrible.
Worse than you can imagine. The old stud, livestock, sheep, chickens, all dead or dying. No doubt the people will be next. Melikar's old woman's taken to her bed, and it doesn't look good. Straw's wife and brother, oh, more and more.
I'm sorry to hear it. I'm looking for Matthias. He works as a stable hand at the stud farm.
Matthias? The brigands got him, poor lad. He's lying wounded at the stud.
Thanks. That'll be all for now.
Farewell.
Hal? You're a sight for sore eyes. What are you doing here?
It's good to see you too, Matthias. Sir Radzig sent me here to investigate the raid.
Sir Radzig? Looks like you've come up in the world, mate. You're here as his envoy?
He took me into his garrison.
Hal the blacksmith's boy in the service of his lordship. Who'd have ever thought it? My luck hasn't been so good.
You survived. That's something to thank God for.
True enough. If I were in your shoes, I'd get the hell out of here. There's some disease spreading.
Disease?
Folk are saying it's the plague. Whatever it is, it's bad. It started the day after the raid. First the horses got sick, then other animals, and now people are falling ill too.
Oh, damn!
It's always funny in RPGs when there's like no memory in dialogue. You know, like just now we already learned about the plague. And, you know, given that they can't guarantee that you actually talk to the other guy before talking to him the fires, they kind of like make Henry surprised that he's hearing about the disease for the first time. But it's nice when you have games like The Witcher 3, for instance, you know, that does a really good job, I think, at who you already talked to and how that, you know, alters the dialogue sometimes. Can be a small thing like just altering the dialogue to, yeah, Johann already told me.
Are you alright?
Well, at least I haven't caught the sickness.
But you've been hurt.
It happened during the raid. One of those damn bandits fell on me, horse and all. My arm's badly broken, but better than a broken neck.
Tell me about the raid.
What do you want to know?
I hear one of the raiders was taken captive. I'd like to question him.
Aye, old Melachar let him have it over the head with a flail, and now he's locked up in the barn. But be careful.
Why's that?
That fucker killed young Straw, and his old man's sharpening his sickle for him. Melachar still hasn't decided what to do with him.
I understand old Straw wants revenge, but first I have to question that bandit. What happens after is no skin off my nose.
Good luck, then.
Can you describe the raiders?
I don't know. They came at dusk, so you couldn't see their faces. About 20 of them. They weren't humans, though. They spoke Czech.
You talked to them?
No. They were shouting at us. They were very sure of themselves to begin with, but when we hit them in the woods, they didn't look so brave.
I know you've got courage enough for any man, but how did a bunch of untrained villagers manage to hold off armed bandits?
One of the village lads caught sight of them coming through the woods and told Melachar, who roused the whole village, and everyone grabbed what they could. Pitchforks, axes, flails, and we went out to face them.
What? You mounted an assault against them?
Aye, and that was the key. It was the last thing those whoresons expected. A few of them still managed to break through to the village, probably wanted to torch it. But even the women here were armed with what they could find, and they took the bastards by surprise.
Surprise. Yeah, I don't know if I still have to trigger the other dialogue options.
About this sickness. When did this plague start?
The day after the raid. The horses were lying down in the stable, so we knew something was up. By afternoon, they were all dead. Then other animals started getting sick, one after the other, and then people.
What are the signs that someone's getting sick?
I don't leave the house much, but folk complain of fever and shakes. Some are throwing their guts up, and others are spewing from the other end.
Has anyone died from it?
Aye, old Verba. Although he was already on his last legs, so no one knows for sure if it was the plague that got him. Either way, the animals are dropping like flies, and people will end up the same for sure.
Who's ill now?
I don't know. What with my arm the way it is, I don't go outdoors much. But I know Melachar and Straw have sick ones at home.
Can I ask you a bit about Merhoyed?
I haven't been here long enough to learn much, but ask away.
You're back. Alright, I'm back.
Can you tell me something about Old Straw?
He's a woodcutter, tough as they come, and a hothead. He's been out of his mind since his boy died.
It's normal to grieve, though.
Depends how you look at it. Folk are afraid he'll snap or drink himself to death. What's worse, his wife caught the sickness, and he's not taking care of her.
Where can I find this straw?
When you take the main gate out of the stables, you'll see 2 cottages outside. Straw lives in the right-hand one.
What's Melikar like?
The locals look up to him. Smill used to be in charge here, but he was killed in Neuhof.
I know.
Sir Hanush hasn't had time to appoint a new vassal, and folk need someone to speak for them, so they picked Melikar.
Thank God you had someone here who could take the reins.
Aye.
What's Melikar like?
The locals look up to him. Smill used to be in charge here, but he was killed in Neuhof.
I know.
Sir Hanush hasn't had time to appoint a new vassal, and folk need someone to speak for them, so they picked Melikar.
No, it's really irritating how that's like a common issue that dialogue choices are not being grayed out if you already actually triggered them. And it's not something that happens, you know, every now and then, just only it happens like constantly. Like, of course, you know, one could maybe remember what they've actually chosen, but if you have like, you know, tons of dialogue choices, chances are you're not going to remember like every little thing you've actually triggered. That's why they have the grayed out option for.
Thank God
You know, again, it's not grayed out.
Where does Melikar live?
When you take the main gate out of the stables, you'll see 2 cottages outside. Melikar lives in the left-hand one.
So I'm not quite sure what actually constitutes as the barn here, because to me this also seems like, you know, a very big kind of like barn or whatever. It's also kind of like a warehouse at the same time, I guess. Hello there, Ramsey. Welcome in. And yeah, the game is going right. We're currently in the main story. Still doing more investigations and detective work, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's going alright. We're currently about halfway through the main story here. Yeah, no idea what this barn is supposed to be. Does the quest log say anything? Yeah, I can confirm that, Ramsey. It definitely, you know, is a really good game in many regards when it comes to like immersion and, you know, being also quite unique with its combat system and, yeah, exploration. But that also definitely has some tricky parts, you know, like the combat is something you really have to get used to, and it might kick your ass on multiple occasions. And there's also like a decent amount of glitch and bugs I've encountered that have soured the experience a little bit. There's also the fact that you can't like save at any point, you know. That can also mean you lose like tons of progress potentially. But I just went ahead and actually installed some mods that give me some quality of life changes, like being able to save at any point. And not having a weight limit, for example. So that definitely should help a little bit. Yeah, so there's like an item you have to have, which is called the Savior Schnapps. Right here. And they can be tricky to come by or always have like enough of. And if you don't have them, then you can't save unless you find a place to sleep or like, you know, trigger like a checkpoint in an important mission or something. So there's many accounts of people just playing for hours and hours and just losing all the progress because they never, you know, bothered saving or like, you know, seeking a place to sleep. And I mean, technically it could even be something like, you know, dying in battle and, you know, getting reset to the last save point. So that can definitely backfire. But to be fair, that's something that even the Kingdom Come Ultra fans are kind of like a bit critical of. But thankfully there's mods for that, at least if you're on PC. Basic horse riding skills. Sure thing.
Can we do something about the price?
All right, so.
Ah, I gotcha. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, maybe you could look up into like people's experience with the game on Steam Deck. Because who knows, you know, how it might run there and how people enjoy it. And of course, you know, my opinion is also definitely biased. So there's like many people who absolutely love this game so much, and you know, it became like one of their favorites.
Finally, a reasonable sum.
What's happened? Plague?
Indeed.
Shh. Where will I find Melichar?
If you stand at the main gate of the stables and look across the road, Melikhar's is the house on the left.
Thanks.
Okay.
The Lord watch over you.
Main gate of the stables. The house on the left. Well, not this one. Ah, I got you, Ramsey. Yeah, then this game might not be for you. If, you know, that's what you're interested in. Because this game can be quite punishing. And definitely not as easy to use a bow either. Ah, there you are.
Are you Melichar?
Aye, that's me.
I need to speak with the prisoner.
And why is that? Who might you be?
Henry, envoy of Sir Radzig Kobyla. I'm here to investigate the attack.
I'm sorry. I have other things on my mind right now. In case you hadn't noticed, we have pestilence raging here. And Sir Radzig won't help us with that, any more than he helped us when we were attacked.
Hello there, Mitch. Welcome in, dude. And good day. Happy belated Easter to you. And yeah, I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking. We're back with a bit more Kingdom Come Deliverance. Been a while since the last stream this. But yeah, doing some more investigation time with Henry. How are you doing? Hello there, Conrad. Welcome in. And yes, I'm playing with the Xbox One controller. Oh yeah, my Easter was quite nice. I was visiting family. So I was out and about for a couple of days. But it was really nice. Very chill. Had some delicious food, enjoyed the very warm weather, and yeah, had a good time. How was your Easter? Ah, that's nice, Mitch. To get a home office day. That's definitely chill sometimes, you know, just being able to like have something on the side.
No one could have known what would happen. If Sir Radzig hadn't pissed off into the woods and stayed in the camp, they would never have dared attack us.
If Sir Radzig hadn't gone into the woods, he'd have left so many to attack here that you'd never have fought them off.
It makes no odds now. We've a different problem to deal with.
If there's anything I can do, just tell me.
There's a stable hand living with us here, Matthias.
Yes, I know him.
And he knows some girl who helps out in the monastery infirmary. Johanka, I think her name is. She might know someone to turn to, if she's actually there.
Very well. I'll go to the monastery. It's probably our best hope.
Thank you. At least for taking the trouble. But then, even if you cared nothing for us, the prisoner's got the pestilence too. He'll die without help.
If I have to go to the monastery, I need to know as much as possible about the disease. I'll definitely need to know its symptoms. They're bound to ask me that.
It's hard to say. My wife is feverish. Others have the chills. I heard some are throwing up. Others still are breaking out in sores. But why don't you see for yourself? People talk a lot and I don't know what to believe anymore.
Very well. I'll make the rounds.
I've daubed lime on the afflicted houses, but don't stay too long in those homes.
That I can promise you.
God be with you.
Alright, let's go to the monastery here. That's like a sub-quest, isn't it? It's quite a way, but sure, let's make it.
Yeah.
Indeed, out into the open world. Let's see what awaits us. Maybe some ambushes. It's been like 8 days since my last stream session, so I probably forgot like half of the combat mechanics. On that note, let's have another save.
Yeah.
Now that I can save at any point. Ah, a new location. Samopesh is a small village in the Sassau region not far from Rattay, first mentioned in 1397. Together with two nearby mills, Belin, called also Bards, and Budin Mill, it belonged to the Sassau monastery until 1412 and was renowned as a center of agriculture and for an ancient species of wheat locally known as Samops spouta, from which the village derives its name. Let's do Ramsey, you know, like it's definitely a bit of muscle memory and like getting back into it. You might fall once or twice, but after that it should be back to where we were last time.
Yeah.
Can do the saucy.
Yeah.
It's quite a beautiful sundown here. But yeah, we'll be getting dark soon, so we better hurry.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, you whistling tit!
I will. That's the last you will hear from me.
I need that money.
The Sassau Monastery is situated on a cliff above one of the many meanders of Sassau River, which isolates it on various sides. Its origins date back to the first half of the 11th century, when it was founded by Duke Odrich at the instigation of a monk Procopius. Saint Procopius, canonized in 1204, became renowned particularly for wanting to preserve the old church Slavonic religious rites in the monastery, rather than adopting the Latin liturgy. According to the oldest document mentioning the construction and development of Sassau Monastery, Vita Major, the 11th century legend of Saint Procopius, the saint initially lived in a cave before building a church consecrated to the Virgin Mary and Saint John the Baptist. The monastery of the Slavonic Brothers imitated the design of the Abbey of St. Gau in Switzerland. The main building in the complex was the church with an adjoining wooden cloister. The original dwelling of the abbot was located on the western side of the courtyard, below the presbytery. The monastery garden is situated in the northern part of the grounds. Here remnants of the first Sassau stone church, consecrated in 1070 to the Holy Cross, have been unearthed. After the expulsion of the old church Slavonic Monka from Sassau, the monastery was taken over by Latinist monks from Bresnov. Abbot Detard continued with the rebuilding works, completing a simple single-nave church in his lifetime. From the mid-12th century onwards, work resumed on the original plans and the abbey church was reconstructed into a massive, ornamented, three-nave basilica. The oldest simple wooden edifices from the beginnings of the monastery included the cloister, monk quarters, the prelature, abbot quarters, and the infirmary, hospital for monks. The cloister around the Elysian courtyard consisted of a quadrangle hallway, with window openings, the monks' dormitory, the chapter house, the study, the refectory, the dining hall, and the kitchen. Hey Ramsey, thank you so much for the 7 bits. Thank you, I appreciate that. And for the good luck, Clovis. Sassau Town. Originally, Sassau was a settlement on the left bank of the eponymous river, opposite the monastery. For over 100 years, the town was the property of a Benedictine monastery. Houses were centered around the Church of St. Martin and along the road to Prague and Kurim. During the Hussite Wars, the monastery and its surrounding fell into the hands of the Hussites, at which time the preacher gave sermons in the Czech language. Building work ceased from then until the mid-17th century, but the monastery survived. For more than 200 years after the monks were expelled, the monastery lands belonged to the local aristocracy. The parish church of St. Martin was founded on the left bank of the Sassau River, in the middle of a small town in the 14th century. It is a single-nave structure with a chancel, a steeple on the north side, and a chapel on the south. The entire complex is enclosed by a high graveyard wall that has survived to this day. Although the church building itself has been altered completely, but for the original windows in the steeple. And we also uncovered the Skalitz Sassau district. The extent of the Kingdom Come Deliverance game world corresponds roughly to an area in southeastern Bohemia around Sassau River, in which many historical heritage sites are located. The most notable include Sassau Monastery and the castles in Bohemian Sternberg, Ratay and Skalitz, of which only a few stones can be found today. Cheers, Ramsey. Okay, so only 2 locations missing here, and then that's all of them uncovered. Gothic architecture. The early Gothic buildings in Bohemia drew inspiration from France and the Rhineland. Among the earliest were the monastery in Predklastery by Tisnov, South Moravia, the chapter house in Osek, North Bohemia, the monastery of St. Agnes in Prague, and many parish churches and monasteries such as Vos in Kolin and Kurim in central Bohemia. Around 1300, Czech architecture diverged from its western counterparts. There was a burgeoning of Cistercian monasteries, like in Zlata Koruna and Vyšší Bod in South Bohemia, and churches and castles like Bestev, North Bohemia. The High Gothic period was in full swing during the time of Charles IV and Wenceslas IV, with its rectangular windows and portals, rayonnant traceries, and quadripartite or sexpartite or cross-ribbed voting. The most significant buildings of that time are University of Prague, the St. Vitus Cathedral, the Charles Bridge, the Prague Old Town Hall, the New Town Hall, stone houses in Prague, and the castles of Karlstein, Kost, and Karlsberg. We find the first records of construction works fellowships. The most famous are those of Master Peter Pahler and his family, and Matthias of Arras, who also worked on the reconstruction of Sassau Monastery. New castles no longer served just for defensive function. but were also intended to serve as sovereign residence. They were therefore more spacious and elaborate and had extensive gardens. Construction. Construction works around every major building site, employing stonemasons, carpenters, bricklayers, blacksmiths, freight haulers, stonecutters, ropers, pillar makers, coopers, and so on. Sundry labor was done by unskilled hirelings. Stone or wooden elements and auxiliary structures were made directly on site. The place where the construction work was called a courtyard. Artisans often used specialized tools such as wooden lifting machines, winches, hoists, and cranes, powered by hand or by means of large tread wheels. Construction works assembled a great as many workers who became bonded together by natural and informal ties. The community of workers also provided ample custom for the surrounding merchants and innkeepers, and most of the workers would have lived in the vicinity for the duration of a building project, which often lasted years. The master builder was in charge, allocating tasks, leading the construction process, and negotiating with the owner or patron of a building. The painter. During the early Middle Ages, no one knew the names of the artists who painted the panels and frescoes, and the bulk of the works remains anonymous to this day. Often the paintings were undertaken by monks who decorated their monasteries alongside illuminating manuscripts. The painters and illuminators made their own pigments from ground natural materials. The themes were mainly historical and biblical, or geometrically decorative. And the stonemasons were engaged in the quarrying and dressing of stone. Their activities included quarrying stone blocks from the rock face, splitting them into smaller pieces, grinding, cutting, polishing, and dressing them to make building blocks or wood elements. The first mention of an organized stonemasons guild in Bohemia dates from the 14th century. The patron saints of the quarries and stonemasons are Saint Roch and Saint Joseph, and in places also Saint Barbara and Saint Procopius. Stoneworking found application mainly in the construction industry. The mason's mark was a graphic symbol, one of the maker's signature, on the surface of a finished stone piece. The number of finished and marked pieces determined the payment due. Each mason either attained his mark or had it allocated to him at a particular point in his apprenticeship, and then kept it for life.
Johanka?
Henry?
I'm glad to see you.
Me too. I heard that you're doing well.
Not right now. Matthias sent me.
Matthias? My God, did something happen?
I don't know if you've heard about it, but Merhoyed was attacked.
Oh God! How is Matthias?
Wounded in the arm. He's being brave about it, but his injury looks bad.
I need to see him.
Before you go, there's something else.
What?
Some kind of disease has taken hold in Merhoyed. Their livestock has died off, and now the people are coming down with it too. I thought maybe someone here might know what to do.
Merciful heavens. How awful. It's a good thing you've come here. If there's any hope, this is the place to find it. You need Brother Nicodemus, the monastery physician. He may know how to deal with it.
Very well, I'll try to find him.
Come back when you know more.
Thank you, Johanka. Some kind of disease has taken hold in Merhoyed. Your Hanker said that you might be able to advise.
A disease, you say? How intriguing.
Yes, it's very interesting, but can you help these people?
I can't say at this point. I need to find out a little more. Tell me, has the whole village come down with it?
No, I mean, not yet. Several households have, around half the village.
Merhoyed? Isn't there a stud farm there? And what of the animals? Did they get infected too?
Yes, there's a stud farm. And they've all died off. The horses, the cattle, chickens, and now it's got to the people.
That is most intriguing. What are we to do about it? Do you know the symptoms?
Yes, more or less.
Excellent. I have several extensive volumes here in the library. Describe the epidemic, including the symptoms, and we could take some guidance there. Can you read?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. So follow me to the scriptorium.
I just can't.
Objective failed. Okay, I thought we already were done with the investigation there, but whatever.
So, where shall we start?
Evidently there's something amiss in the digestive tract.
In the what?
The digestive tract, Henry.
Right.
The trouble lies between the mouth and the arsehole.
Uh-huh. Sure. Just so.
We can rule nothing out at this stage. You look in the Breviarum de Sickness Causa. It's a renowned manuscript from Salerno, written by one Johann of St. Paul.
But I don't know Latin.
Fortunately for you, our brother librarian is translating these momentous medical works into the common tongue, so you can still be of use. Study the breviary carefully and compare the symptoms with the recorded cases. That will guide us. I'll try the proven classics, Avicenna and his Canon Medicinae, and Galen's magnum opus, the Ars Medicinalis.
Good luck to you.
The medicine of the arse. Oh, that's fitting. It's kind of funny that Henry says he couldn't read Latin because we did finish the Latin reading challenge.
I just can't. God, what will happen to my family?
Could it be? No, probably not.
Take care now.
Could it be? No, probably not.
I just won't get any sleep.
It is known that the body of a man is composed of four humors: blood, yellow bile, black bile, and phlegm. If these are unbalanced, the person is whole and healthy. But if there's an excess of one, it swarms the body, disturbs the equilibrium, and leads to ailments or even death.
Now what have we here?
Excess of mucus may also lead to diphtheria. For example, the body endeavors to get rid of it by coughing, sometimes spasmodically. It is sores in the throat and mouth that trouble the sick and complicate the intake of fluids. The whole agony is further exacerbated by fever, often accompanied by malaise. After a few days, a rash or spots appear. People often become infected by association with the sufferer, but not everyone so succumbs to the infection.
A peculiar.
Diphtheria does not infect animals, nor do they suffer from it. Plague caused by black bow fluctuations often exhibit many signs. These include fever accompanied by malaise, often autocated with spastic cough, perhaps even diarrhea, when the body endeavors to rid itself of excess black bow and great thirst. After a few days, sores erupt on the body, on the neck, under the jaw, in the armpits and the groin. Later, black spots are seen on the fingers, nose, mouth, and other protrusions of the human body, where accumulated gall settles. It spreads among people, but some people are not afflicted. Small animals do not suffer from the plague, but bigger ones may be infected.
Lord, oh Lord, what times we live.
A profusion of yellow bow can lead to dysentery, which is manifested by various signs, primarily by violent diarrhea. Vomiting is present only rarely. The sick also suffer from terrible thirst, abdominal cramps, and fever. It is transmitted from person to person, but animals do not suffer from it. But there are also other ways in which the inner humors are disturbed and the blood weakened. One such is by poisoning, which is manifested by fever and delirium, stomach ache bringing convulsions, diarrhea, and great thirst. If a person is poisoned by gas, for example in mines, near swamps or similar places, there often appears on him a rash around the nose and mouth. However, this rash does not occur if a poison is ingested through food consumed. Poisoning isn't transmitted between humans or animals, but if they all drink, for example, from the same source of water, then people are infected as well as animals, the latter often.
A peculiar case. Whatever can it be? Febris e causa ignota.
Well, I guess I could have been poisoned or just, you know, like the plague, I guess, with a black bow.
Could it be? No, probably not.
I think I have it.
Yes? And what do you make of it?
Okay, there's definitely more options than I think there would be.
Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper! Hello there, Dr. Darling. Welcome in. And good day. Kingdom came and delivered. It delivered a good game. Ghost of Tsushima. With a DLC that's better than the entire AC Shadows. Really? Is it? Damn. I like the DLC for Ghost of Tsushima. But that would be a bummer if Shadows is worse than the DLC. But yeah, glad you're enjoying your playthrough of Ghost of Sushi. I thought maybe we just have like poisoning as an option, but
Good
hold
luck
up.
to you.
Let me have a quick look again.
Yes, yes, that would make sense.
I mean, Henry talked about the chickens also being like infected, right? So
That would make sense.
plague probably not.
Lord, oh Lord, what times we live in.
I feel like someone poisoned the water source.
Can it be?
It's very likely.
Causa ign.
I think I have it.
Yes?
It's poisoning from tainted water.
Really? That sounds rather unlikely. But if Master Johann of St. Paul's says so, who am I to contradict him? We shall have to prepare some medicine at once.
I don't think I can help out with that.
I didn't expect you could. You surprised me quite enough with your reading. But enough chatter. Time is of the essence. I'll get to work brewing the potion, and then head straight to Merhoyed with your hunker. I expect we'll meet there?
That works for me. But can't I help in some way?
Best spend the time praying. We can always use God's help.
May the Lord watch over you.
Well, it seems like I found the correct course then. Unless you kinda like finish your objective no matter what you choose.
Hey, who's there?
Come on. Wanted to have a torch, but apparently that's not equipped. Right, I don't even have a torch right now. We have one on the horse. No. Ah, very nice, Dr. Darling, that you finished the game too. Yeah, what a great game that is. I'm really looking forward to Ghost of Yotei as well. And yesterday they released a new trailer, right? And also announced that it's coming on October 2nd. Only for PS5, unfortunately, but let's hope that the PC release won't be, you know, too long after. And yeah, that DSC armor is really overpowered. It definitely came in handy for the LeFo challenge. Having like a more generous timing window. Hello there, Mita. Welcome in, dude. And good day. I'm doing quite well. Yeah, we're back with more Kingdom Come. It's been quite a while since our last stream, like 8 days. But yeah, even though the week is pretty full, you know, I still wanted to do a bit of progress, so doing a short session before I have to work later. How's it going for you? And how was the rest of Need for Speed Heat yesterday? Can I just sit here and wait?
I just can't. I can't sleep again.
Aditya Mita, very nice dude. It's always a good feeling when you get to max out a car. And the Mustang is also one of my go-to cars as well in games.
can't stand it anymore.
So here I am. How are things looking?
It's a good thing you're here. We need a helping hand.
What are you?
You can take the cure to the villagers and make sure they take the right dose. I'll take care of Melikar and Straw. You go around the rest of the houses. They wouldn't let me go near that prisoner. They want him to suffer. Despite his terrible crimes, to treat a fellow mortal soul like that.
What are you punishing me for?
Perhaps I'll be able to convince them. I promised I'd bring them help, and I've kept my word. They must let me go to him.
I hope so, but in the short while I've been here, I've found the locals to be rather stubborn.
Take care now.
Oh yeah, dude, I also love Lambos. I've never driven one in real life, but I definitely love driving them in racing games. Especially in the Forza games. Speaking of which, have you actually played the Forza Horizon games yet?
We found out what could be the cause of the affliction.
And?
You should check where your water's coming from. Nicodemus and I think that it comes down to poisoning.
It'd be hard to poison the spring, but what about the well? Good lord, that's difficult to believe.
I have my suspicions.
The bastards weren't satisfied with killing young Straw. The fucking bastards!
I brought some help, as promised. Will you let me see the prisoner?
I will let you, I will. Of course I will. My boy, if you've really brought a potion to rid us of this scourge, I'll let you do anything.
Ah, whether I've managed to rid you of the scourge, that remains to be seen. It'll take a few days before we know whether the potion worked.
I know, but even so, just the fact that someone cares, that means a lot to us.
I gotcha, dude. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, the Forza Horizon games really surprised me with like how much fun they were to play. Like really, if you're like even just a casual racing fan, but also like a diehard fan, I think they really have a lot to give for both sides. So maybe I redeem one of them for you one of these days.
Don't fret about that, Melikar. A thing like that would have scared anybody. Just take care of, what is your wife's name?
Hannah.
So, take good care of her.
Now open up that shed. Take care now.
Oh, I still have to give the medicine to the sick, so I guess we're just looking for houses that have the white cross on them. Like this one. Oh, there's no sick here. I guess that's the barn. But yeah, I want to make sure we actually got rid of the plague before we continue with the main story here. Otherwise, all of this was for nothing. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they definitely go on sale quite frequently. Unfortunately, because of licenses and the whole like online requirement thing and how many cars they have, they kind of like revoke being able to buy them after a while. And since this year, you can't actually buy Forza 4 on the Microsoft store anymore. But there's still like plenty of cheap keys around from all the sales that happened before it went offline. But I technically currently can only buy the newest Forza Horizon 5, which is set in Mexico from Microsoft directly. Or I guess alternatively you could get the physical release for console, but not sure if you have an Xbox. I was about to say Smithai is dead, but he was blinking. But also redeemed A in Isolation. Ah, nice. I know that's one of his favorite games. Seen him play that plenty of times.
Go away, leave me alone.
I'm about to give you a cure.
No.
Okay then, I guess you don't want to be cured then. So why are all of us sick all of a sudden?
Now let's wait and see what happens.
Hello there, Schiller. Welcome in.
I can't bear the pain.
And how are you today? It's going quite good. Playing a bit more Kingdom Come. Been a while since our last stream. Right now we're trying to solve the plague. Or at least find out what happened to these guys here. You don't have any console? That's fair, yeah. Yeah, the PC ports are definitely really good, but right now the only games you can really purchase for PC are Forza 4 over like Keysites. Or I guess Forza 5 directly over Microsoft. I believe Forza 5 is also on Game Pass actually.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
Who are you?
Oh, hell yeah, Sheila. That's awesome. I still gotta work later. So I still have some things to take care of, but I figured I can use the few hours I have before I have to work for a bit of chill time in gaming. I hope you enjoy your post-work chill time. Having an internal conflict about to get the Oblivion remake next month or wait for a sale. Yeah, it looks quite good, doesn't it? From what I've seen so far, people seem to be really enjoying it. But that's fair, you know, like often with games I don't really feel much of a rush to like having to play it immediately. But of course, if it's like, you know, somewhat of like a favorite of yours, that would definitely be understandable.
My name is Henry, and I'm investigating on behalf of Sir Radzig Kobyla.
Oh, I see. You'll have an easy job with me, boy.
How so?
I won't give you any problems.
That's sensible of you.
I'm a sensible man. Only I'd like to get it over quick and not keep the Rattay executioner busy too long, if you catch my drift.
I understand.
What do you want to know?
Everything. First, tell me who's behind all this. Who do you follow?
I follow the coin, lad. We all do.
That's not news to me, but who pays the coin?
I got my pay from Runt, like all the men in Pribyslavitz. And Runt got his money from the chief, and the chief had the coin minted.
Who's the chief? The bandit leader?
Bandit? If he heard you say that, he'd have your head on a spike. That's the kind of man he is. Nobody knows much about him, though. Only that he ain't Czech.
Ah, I gotcha, Sheila. So it's not like you played Oblivion, you know, back then and you have like lots of nostalgia for it. Yeah, I haven't played any Elder Scrolls really. I played like the beginning of Oblivion way back when Skyrim wasn't even out at like friends, but I only like created a character pretty much. I've done like the same thing with Skyrim when I visited my brother and he was like really into like Skyrim at the time. So he was like, you gotta play the beginning of this game. It's like so good. So I did see that iconic like, you know, beginning of Skyrim. But didn't really get beyond the character creation. But, you know, if I would ever get into the Elder Scrolls games, then it's nice to know that there's like a remake or remaster that I could play to kind of like, you know, not having to deal with maybe some of the mechanics or graphics that haven't aged quite as good. Oh yeah, Mafia the Old Country, isn't it? That game looks really interesting. I like how they chose a very different historical setting to the others. And honestly, it might even be a game I will also include in my historical order run. Once, I'm not sure if we know the exact year it's taking place, but you know, it's still gonna be a while until we get even close to that time either way, so I feel like I might want to include it in my historical order run. Yeah, I mean, 65 euros, you know, that's a lot to ask for a game. Even if it's like, you know, full price or whatever, but yeah, it's still like a lot of money just to play like a game, you know. Ah, cool. You're gonna start your Witcher 3 playthrough soon? Oh yeah, dude. Will you be doing any particular run with it? Is it just gonna be like a casual one? So like the 1910s or 20s. That would be very interesting. And there's not that many games on my historical order list in that time frame either, I don't think. According to Google, it's supposed to be like the 1900s. So it could be a game I could play in between Red Dead Redemption 2 and 1 potentially.
So he's a foreigner? German?
Don't think so. For sure he ain't Czech. And he's got plenty of coin. I'd stake my neck on it. He's got noble blood in his veins.
Judging by how he looks.
More by the way he talks. Any man can dress up like nobility, but he spoke all la-di-da, like a lord.
Oh really, Amita? Hell yeah, dude. That's really awesome. That you're going for no hard challenge. I love this type of playthroughs. And have done quite a few myself as well with different games. Witcher 3 was actually my most recent playthrough with a no hard challenge. And it was quite tough because I've done it with Death March on top. But given that you've played the game quite a few times and you know so much about it, I feel like that's gonna really help you. Also with like in what order you have to do certain objectives and where to find who you have to look for. But yeah, it was a good challenge for sure. You still have to get Red Dead 1 at some point. It's such a good game. I mean, yeah, sure, it's definitely, older feeling than Red Dead 2, but it was in many ways ahead of its time, and it still holds up really well, I think. And it's, typical Rockstar fashion, it just has a great worked out story and characters. Yeah, honestly, normal difficulty might be a good call. I feel like the longer the playthrough goes on with Witcher 3, the more relative the difficulty becomes. But I reckon you have played Nightmare before, or like Death March. Early on in the game, you can definitely be like 2 or 3 shotted very quickly and easily. So with a no HUD and also not seeing like combat inputs and stuff, I noticed that the animation sometimes doesn't exactly line up with the hitbox. So that can be something to get used to as well. Like when you're actually taking damage, and sometimes you also don't see if you took damage either, right? So not having the health bar is also sometimes a bit tricky, like knowing, okay, this is how much health I currently have left. So I feel like with normal difficulty, it's probably easier to handle and kind of like calculate. But yeah, early on it was quite tough with Death March. But it got a lot easier the more the playthrough went on. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, the question marks. I mean, there's so many of them as well. So you played it twice on Deathmatch? Nice. Yeah, same for me. I played it Deathmatch, the playthrough before that, and then Deathmatch no HUD for my latest run. I definitely liked it. The difficulty.
Where's that chief of yours now?
I've no idea. After Privislovitz, he ordered us to raid Merhoyed, but he wasn't with us. He went off who knows where. I don't reckon he'll be out of your hair for long, though.
Indeed. And another thing to consider is what potion you have equipped, right? Because you don't actually see what potion is like actively equipped at the moment. And while you can try to memorize it, it can be tricky sometimes. That's like another thing. It's like, okay, do I actually have a thunderbolt equipped, or is it right now the health potion?
So the chief is in command of all these operations?
You could say. I'd say you're looking at it all wrong, though.
How's that?
You ask who's in charge and who answers to who. Only this ain't some noble court. There was all sorts of gangs in Pribyslavitz, big and small. Robber barons who had their own brigades calling them my lord, and common footpads who hadn't a pot to piss in. Men came, men went. Lots of squabbles, the occasional murder. Old cronies and old rivals were meeting. You know what I mean?
I suppose so.
It was one big muddle. The main thing was nobody asked questions. I didn't give a damn who the chief was or what he had in mind or whether he had one ball or two. All I was interested in was the coin.
Uh-huh. How did you know about Pribyslavitz? Who took you there?
A fellow by the name of Moorcock. We met near Kuttenberg. I was robbing burghers who were fleeing the town from Sigismund's army. We got to talking and he told me about Pribyslavitz.
There's a guy called Moorcock. I definitely chose that name on purpose. Ah, that's right, Amita, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That skill could definitely help in that regard. To make sure you're getting healed regardless. Of what you're choosing.
Why did you attack Merhoyed?
The chief himself gave us the order. I reckon he wanted to show the local lords he was nowhere near finished.
So he's planning more raids?
The chief's always planning something. Pribyslavitz was only the start.
So you knew the coin was counterfeit?
Course I did. I brought those groschen to Pribyslavitz, along with a few other things.
Did you? And where did the forgeries come from?
Like, where were they made? I don't know. Some merchant by the name of Menhart gave them to me. We used to meet at the charcoal piles near Rovna, by the crossroads there. As it happens, I'm supposed to be meeting him there about now.
So Menhart's waiting there?
Might be, might not. He could have heard what happened in Pribyslavitz and decided not to show.
And does this Menhart know where the coin comes from?
How should I know? To me, he's just another link in the chain. I deal with him, and I never ask who he deals with. Just like he knows nothing about me.
I see. So I suppose there's no point asking you if you know any more about him.
It'd be a waste of breath. All he did was give me the coin, and then we went our separate ways.
Who else knows about the money?
Apart from the chief, Menhart, Runt and me, there was a few others. The men got some real money too, with the false stuff. It'd be suspicious if they only had freshly minted coin.
You said you used to bring other things. What were they?
Letters. Menhart would give them to me for the chief. This time I was taking an answer back to Menhart too.
Have you still got that letter?
Aye. The yokels round here ain't got much interest in correspondence, apparently.
Give it to me then.
I'd be delighted.
What were the letters about?
If I knew how to read, I wouldn't be trusted to carry letters, would I? I took them from Menhart to the chief and back. That's all.
That's all I need to know for now.
For now, for the love of Christ, boy, don't let the executioner interrogate me. I already told you everything I know.
I can't deny you've been cooperative. I'll do my best to see you get a quick end.
Henry! I think old Straw's come for the brigand.
Step back from that Eden, young fella.
But you can't kill me. Not just like that.
Shut the fuck up, you weasel, and keep it fucking shut. You don't even get a say.
Calm down, Straw. He won't escape justice. After all, he's...
Don't stand in my way, Melikar.
Let Henry decide. He's the one who saved his life.
Wow, that escalated quickly. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
To hell with that. That Orson killed my boy. He won't leave Merhayed alive.
A good thing is I have a very good speech factor here, so it's getting easier and easier to convince others.
I understand, Straw, truly. I lost my parents. They were slain in front of my eyes until the day I die. I'll never forgive myself for doing nothing to save them.
What of it?
What?
My parents are dead too. My father was kicked by a horse and took 2 weeks to die of it. But to outlive your own child, you don't know what you're talking about.
Huh?
Bastard is going nowhere.
I had like 11 to 9. So why did I lose my check? The fuck? Like even now I should be successful in choosing you don't want to be a murderer.
Listen to me, Straw. That isn't going to help anyone. You're a decent man, not a killer. Think of your wife.
And where's the justice in that? My boy cut down in his youth. Didn't even have a chance to marry. And that cutthroat swine left walking the earth.
Do you really want to defy your lord as a man?
Again, Phil.
If I have to. That son of a whore deserves to swing. If you don't have the balls for it, step aside and leave it to me.
That's just stupid. Like 2 times I have a better start than him in speech, yet we lost both checks. Now this, I know that I'm like worse for my stats, so I can't win this, but it's like the last resort, but I guess I can't stop him from doing this.
I've got no time for your drunken babbling, Straw. That bandit is going with me, and if you try to stop me, you'll get hurt. Is that clear?
Strong words for a stripling like you. We'll fight for him, if that's the way you want it. We'll soon see who's left standing.
Sure.
Then let's not waste any time.
If that's how you want it. Curse it!
That was so funny how I just kept on spamming that combo. But hey, it worked.
My word. Oh, good God. I need to lie down before I split my face open from yawning.
Okay, let's go back home.
Feed the whole family with fresh
Henry
bread.
needs to really catch some sleep here.
Sigismund Scott.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Henry's gonna feel quite hungry soon here. Okay, and let's go ahead and continue reading the book here that we read last time. Agility book. Almost done with it. And there we go. We finish the book Agile as a Weasel. Which means... yeah, we're now level 9. Nice. I believe there was also another book I can still read here. I have the basic horse riding skills, and wasn't there another one? And simile. Recipe for poison. Sharp as a knife. Okay, there's quite a few. But let's go for the sharp as a knife one. Read that. Nice. New level maintenance. Let's also read how to make poison. And let's also start on the basic horse riding skills here. Does this game have a survival aspect where you have to sleep, eat and all that? Indeed. Yeah, there's a meter for nourishment, which is related to eating and drinking. Then you also have energy level for like also sleep. And if it gets too low, then you also lose stamina, I believe. So definitely have to take care of that. And also with your weapons and all that and armor. Gotta keep Henry and his gear in good shape. Even his dog you have to take care of. Speaking of which, you on the way, Matt? Alrighty, but yeah, this is where I'm gonna go and have a save here, because this is all the time I have for today for Kingdom Come Deliverance. But made some good progress, you know, for the 2 hours here, especially with the main story. So gonna carry on with that next time here. But yeah, for today, this is gonna be it. Let's go ahead and quit. And let's have a look who's online and who we can shoot a raid today, shall we? That's the voice for the stream, Shella and Amita. Thank you guys for being here and for joining us. We're gonna go and raid over to Rod, who's still streaming. He's playing some AC2, which he started today as part of his annual 2025 series run. It's actually the next game after Kingdom Come Deliverance for us, being set about 70 years afterwards. Thank you again everyone for joining us today for more of this. Tomorrow I won't have time to stream. It's actually Levy's birthday, so we're gonna have some plans and things planned for the day. But there's a good chance that I will either be streaming on Saturday or Sunday. So that, you know, it's gonna come up on weekend. And then next week should be pretty back to regular again, you know, I should be able to stream on Wednesday and Friday for a bit longer. So who knows, maybe by that point we're also getting closer to the end of this game. You too, Amita, take care, catch you next time. Have a good one. And I will catch you guys over at Rod's.